The truth is, different people come to Canada for different reasons. There are people who moved here because they wanted a place to retire. Others moved here because maybe they were running away from their country for one reason or the other. Others felt that maybe there are opportunities here, so they should move here. So they left their jobs and moved here. And there are multiple routes that you can use to move to Canada. I've met people who moved here through the student routes, and they've gone through the ropes and they are now full citizens. And there are people who moved here through federal skill, that's going through the federal routes. There are people who moved here through the provincial nominee program, that's coming through the provincial routes. And even there are people who came here through work permits. And even yesterday at my workplace, I met a couple who just moved here a few days ago. And basically what they did was they came through the business visa route, where they decided that they are going to set up a business here in Winnipeg. Basically what this couple did was they went to acquire a franchise and decided to move that franchise to Winnipeg. So as a result, they got their permit to come in and set up the business, because their decision was they are going to create jobs in Winnipeg for people. And as a result, the government was ready to offer them the opportunity to move here. But since I came here through the student routes, I felt today I should share with you reasons why I think if you plan on going to study abroad with the aim of possibly moving abroad permanently, then you should pick Canada as your destination. The first one is you can earn as you study. Canada allows you to work whilst you are studying as a student. They allow you to pick up jobs, and you are not limited in the type of job that you can pick whilst you are studying here as a full-time student. So basically, you are not restricted to just menial jobs. If you get office job that will allow you to work around your school schedule, you can pick it up. Your study permit that they will issue you will give you at least the chance to work fully on campus as a full-time, or you might be able to work at least 20 hours off campus. And if you are one of the lucky few who were part of the new policy that was introduced, then basically you are allowed to work unlimited hours whilst you are studying as a student. And what this allows you to do is you are able to earn whilst you are studying as a student. And with this money that you will make whilst you are studying, you might be able to pay yourself through education, or worst case scenario, you'll be able to pay off some of the expenses that you will incur whilst you are studying here. And this will be very helpful, because I know most people moving here will either choose to borrow money from relatives or even go for a loan, because maybe they might not be able to fully afford the tuition fee one way or the other, and even the cost of living. So being able to work will at least help you take some load off your shoulders. Compared to other destinations of choice, like maybe going to Europe, United States, or the UK, where there is a high chance that maybe there will be some form of restriction when it comes to working, and you might not be able to work unlimited. Coming to Canada offers you that freedom of being able to work as long as your study permit allows you. And in terms of even finding work, it wouldn't be as difficult as going to places like, let's say, Eastern Europe, where one way or the other, language might be a barrier for you. So you might not be able to land your preferred kind of job, and you might be stuck with doing menial jobs like maybe cleaning, washing dishes, and other things. Because this is an English-speaking country, if English is your first language or even your second language, there's a high chance that you will get a job when you land here. And since I've been here, I found out that even it's easier to find a full-time job than even a part-time job as a student, because there are enough companies looking for people to employ. The second reason is you get to take advantage of lower tuition fees relatively compared to going to destinations like the UK, Australia, or even the States. Coming to Canada, you will end up paying relatively lower tuition fees for the same courses that you might be offering at these destinations. Even though compared to residents here, that's permanent residents and citizens, international students end up paying at least 3 times the amount that these people are paying. Relatively, as an international student coming to Canada, your tuition fee will be relatively lower than going to the States, UK, or even possibly Europe for the same kind of course. Because guess what? If you decide to go to UK, exchange rate wise compared to your local currency, it will be higher. If you decide to go to the States, exchange rate wise compared to your home currency, it might be higher. So even if the amount quoted is the same, guess what? Exchange rate, you are paying more. The third reason is you can learn from over 500,000 other people. Currently, there are over 500,000 students who are studying in Canada. So guess what? It will not just be just you when you come here. All these people have different narratives, and guess what? Most of these people are sharing their stories online, on a blog somewhere, or they are in one WhatsApp group or the other, or a Telegram group, sharing their experience one way or the other. So if you make a decision to come here to study as a student, you have access to over 500,000 people that you can learn from, so that you won't repeat the mistakes that they have made. Or worst case scenario, there are people here who will be able to guide you on this journey when you decide to at least come to Canada to study, because everybody has a different narrative. Number 4 is you get quality education. Now let's not lose sight of the main reason why you are coming here. Your aim is to come and study, even if your ultimate goal is immigration. So as long as you are paying money to be educated, you want to get the most out of the money. So you want to get the best of education. But guess what? Coming to Canada, you can get access to the highest quality of education. Canadian universities and colleges turn out highly talented graduates. Most of these universities are well funded and highly recognized internationally, and they attract professors who are teaching courses tailored to a changing economy. So coming here, guess what? You get access to the most quality form of education that will help you even if you decide to go back home, so that you can be highly competitive on your job market. So you'll finish your course much more smarter, and because Canada is a diverse country, by the time you are done with your course, you'll be educated not just your brain wise, but you'll have total form of education, and you'll be ready to at least change your career and take on the world. Number 5 is you can enter the Canadian workforce right after education. Unlike other destinations where right after education, the government will be trying to push you out one way or the other. In Canada here, the government wants you to stay when you graduate because they need you to feed their labor market. So guess what they do? If you decide to study at a college or university, that's DLI, right after graduation, you'll be given at least a 1-year postgraduate work permit. That's if you study for a 1-year course. But if you study for a 2-year course or more, they give you a 3-year postgraduate work permit. And what this one does is it gives you time to look for a job right after school, so that you can stay in the Canadian workforce. And what they've done in the past is they've even gone ahead to extend some of these work permits for most students who are not able to find work during the period, so that they will be able to find one and stay here and not have to go back to their home country. So even though you are telling them you are coming here to study, they know that you want to stay one way or the other, and they want to give you reason to stay. So if you come here as a student, it can ease you into the Canadian workforce easily right after graduation, and you wouldn't have to be in a rush to go back to your home country. Number 6 is it can allow you to immigrate to Canada easily. Speaking of permanent residency, I know most people coming here have the ultimate goal of finally immigrating to Canada. So they might be using studying as a route to enter the country. And what studying here does is it allows you to have another route of immigrating to Canada. Because guess what? If your aim is to immigrate to Canada here, if you study here, the Canadian government gives you points when it comes to the express entry system for you to be able to get more points to immigrate to Canada. And if you add that one to your language score, you can get bonus points just because you studied here in Canada, because they know that if you studied here, you are now in tune with the Canadian culture, you understand their world culture, and you'll be more successful, finally decide to live here fully. So if you study here, you get bonus points that can help you to immigrate. Making a decision to come and study here might be the best decision that you can make. And the other thing is, even if you don't go through the express entry route, if you decide to study in Canada, you might be able to access the provincial nominee program based on the province that you go to, because most province wants to try and keep the students who are studying there so they can stay in the community. Because after spending at least a year in that community, you understand the community, you'll be able to stay there and be more successful. So they offer more options when it comes to the provincial nominee program for you as a student to even stay. I know people who right after graduation, they apply to their province, and guess what? they nominated them for the provincial nominee program so that they can stay and work in that community. And that gives them the chance to now get permanent residency and get to that ultimate goal of getting the Canadian citizenship that will allow them to take advantage of all the benefits that they've heard Canada offers. Number 7 is you can bring your family along. So if you make the decision to come to Canada as a student, and let's say you are married, Canada gives you the chance to at least come here with your family, even though you are the one coming as a student. Most destinations might not offer you this choice, but at least what Canada does is they offer you that option where you can now come with your family, so you don't have to leave your family back home just because you made a decision to go and study. So if you are coming with your spouse or common partner, what they will do now is they will offer your spouse or common partner an open work permit. And what he or she can do is, whilst you are studying, he or she can now enter the Canadian work market, find a job that suits him or her skill sets, and be working and possibly to be supporting you as you are in school, so that you can focus on your education and not have to be worried about finances. And since being here, I've seen most people do that, where they move here with their spouse, and whilst they are in class studying, their spouse will be working to at least help pay for the expenses they are incurring. And if you are coming here with your children, they will offer your children even study permits so that they can also now enter the Canadian school system and study. And there are services provided to help you settle, even if you are coming with a family, so you can learn softly and not have to struggle when you come here with your family. So coming here as a student, you can come along with your family. Number 8 is you don't have to leave to travel. And this one is for we the traveling lovers, those of us who love to travel and see places. Guess what? In Canada, you have 6 different time zones. Just yesterday, I was talking to somebody and I said there are more time zones in Canada than possibly in Africa. And the person was telling me to go and look for someone, and I was saying, see, Canada is as big as Africa. So if you love traveling, you can just focus on traveling around just in Canada alone, and there's so much to see and do without even having to leave the country. If you love traveling, you love to spend time in nature. For those of us who love hiking, you'll be able to hike the mountains, you'll be able to hike the hills. If you love road trips, guess what? Canada is as big as Africa. You can just take a road trip on a weekend, and there's so much to see and do. And for those of you who are already here, my advice is don't restrict yourself to just the province that you are in. Find a reason to leave your province. Go to another province, experience new places, because there's so much to see and do in this Canada. Number 9 is you can relax if you come to Canada. Canadians are laid back in everything that they do. You'll be surprised until you land here to find out that they are laid back in everything that they do. So if you get here, guess what? You can also relax just like them. This is a place where people meet for coffee spontaneously after work or even after studying. It's something that's just normal. You'll be surprised somebody will just invite you out just to sit back, take a deep breath, and just relax and just drink coffee. Everybody is laid back here. So if you make a decision to move back here, you'll be so relaxed in your life that you'll be surprised. In Canada here, you can choose to do whatever you like as long as you don't go against the law, and nobody will judge you for it. This is a country where weed has been legalized. You get to a bus stop and you see somebody just pulling on his vape or something. Everybody is so chilled. Everybody likes their own to be in their own space. People are so chilled. So if you move here, no matter who you are, nobody would judge you for it. So if your aim is to find yourself, then Canada might be the destination for you. Number 10 is you can become a Canadian citizen. I know that's what most of you are looking to do, even though you are saying you want to study. The ultimate goal is possibly to get permanent residency. Whatever your reason is for wanting to be a citizen, studying in Canada will offer you the opportunity, offer you a route to get into that citizenship. And getting that citizenship has its own benefits. Some of us are getting it so that we can travel around without having to be walking around for visas. Others might have their own reason. Whatever your reason is, if you move here to study, you get a route to getting that citizenship. And getting that citizenship will offer you the opportunity to be able to vote in Canada. And guess what? Even if you're a PR, getting that citizenship will allow you not to have to worry about having to renew your permanent residency. The Canadian passport is one of the most valuable passports around the world, and I know most people want to have one. So if you come here to study, there's a high chance you might get one for yourself. So in addition to allowing you to work to make money whilst you are studying as a student, the Canadian government gives you the chance to try and find job right after graduation, and from then they offer you a route to be able to get your permanent residence, and from there another route to get your citizenship. So if you want to study in Canada, my advice is don't wait anymore. Start putting in the application and see how it goes, because making that decision to come and study in Canada might be the best decision you ever made in your life when it comes to your immigration journey. Now, these are my reasons why I think you should study in Canada. So my question is, what are you waiting for? If you got value out of this video, kindly hit the like button, because it does well for my videos, as it allows YouTube to recommend to other people to be able to find my content. And if you are new here, kindly hit the subscribe button and join me on this journey as we learn together and share our experiences so that we can learn from each other. And don't forget to share this video with family and friends who you think will get value out of this video. And let me know in the description column what your reasons are for coming to Canada. Or if you are in Canada, what brought you to Canada? And let me know in the description area too the kind of videos that you want to see. Till then, catch you in the next video. Cheers.